Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those of you that are new, my name is Ayna and I'm a freshman at Yale University. So a while ago I made my college reaction video, and then a lot of you guys were asking for my stats and extracurriculars, and that was like a good 6 months ago. But I honestly didn't feel like making this video because one, I was just procrastinating, but then also two, I know that videos like this can sometimes be a little controversial because some people clickbait and lie about stuff, so they just title it like, oh, if you do these exact things, you'll get in. But that's not true, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that colleges have certain quotas, and that you getting in isn't just because of your work, it's also because of the people that they need to fit in. So just remember that while there are certain factors that you can control, it's also not guaranteed that you're going to get in. Like, you shouldn't expect to get in anywhere, I would say, like, especially at the more selective schools, but you can still be hopeful and do your best. So I just want to make that a disclaimer. So even if you do all the things that I ended up doing in this video, that doesn't mean that you're going to get in where I did and not get in where I didn't. So I just want to clarify that. And yeah, so I'll start off with academics, so that's more short, and then I'll go off to reading my resume and everything just to show you guys the extracurriculars I did. Okay, so my high school unweighted GPA was a 4.0, so that means A's. And then my weighted GPA was around or above a 4.7. And my class rank was 1 out of 250-ish people, so that made me valedictorian. And yeah, I have a document to make sure I don't forget anything. But I took 16 AP classes and 5 dual enrollment classes total. And then even though most colleges that I applied to were test optional at the time, I didn't do that because my ACT score was a 34. So I was like, that's a good score to submit for most schools. And then, oh yeah, for dual enrollment classes, I mentioned that. But if you don't know what dual enrollment is, it's basically you can take classes at a college nearby and you can take those online. And the state usually covers the cost for that for a few of them. So that was pretty helpful for me. And then also, just for some academic context, I'm in Tennessee, so not the best education system, but the high school I went to was pretty academically rigorous and it was good. So yeah, I did have lots of opportunities like clubs, leadership, and all of that. So also realize that everything is in context of your school. So for example, if your high school only has 8 AP classes, but you took all 8 of them and tried to do more stuff, then that shows initiative, so that's good, compared to like my high school, which had around like 20 probably AP classes. So in the end, everything is relative to where you are, so just remember that. Yeah, okay, now I'll move on to my resume and start talking about extracurriculars. Okay, so I'll start off with in-school extracurriculars and then go back to some things I did out of school. Okay, so first I did Technology Student Association. That stands for TSA. I was a member of that from freshman to senior year. And then in senior year, I became the president. And then before that, I was also an officer for 2 years before that, right? So some things I did that I wrote on my resume was I helped our club find a new sponsor because our club was going to go out if we didn't find that sponsor. And then also just like helping organize weekly meetings and doing all of that related stuff. So I'd say that was a pretty big part because I also went to the national conference for that. And then also I participated in events such as biotechnology design, and me and my group got first place in that for a few years as well in the state. So I would say that was a pretty big thing because it's also STEM and like leadership skills mixed together, so I feel like that was good. And then I also did policy debate from freshman to senior year, and for that, another big thing was that I went to nationals 2 times out of my high school experience, and I did get octo finalist 1 time, so like top 16 teams in the country. So I would say this is showing that if you do an extracurricular, try to do it for a longer period of time and make sure that you're passionate about it so it's not difficult to do for a long period of time. And then it's not necessary that you go and get awards like big national awards, but that does show your dedication and commitment and that you were able to take it to the next level. So I'd say it's always better to be in a few clubs and then just do really well in those and stick out with them, compared to saying that you're in 20 clubs. But okay, what did you do in those clubs, you know? Because even in the essays, you have to talk about meaningfully how did they shape your experience or anything like that. So I feel like these 2 clubs were very beneficial for me and helped me grow a lot as a person. So if you just talk about it in a good way, then you're good. Also was Science Olympiad freshman to senior year, and I was captain senior year. So for that, it wasn't really as significant for me because yes, I was captain, but there were many captains and we did work together, so I didn't really write about that as much. Okay, Junior Classical League, I did that from 2018 to 2024, so I did that for 6 years, and I was also president of that, and that was helping with organizing spirit and different things and just meeting with the sponsor and planning different drives. So I did that. That was also not as much of a commitment. Okay, and then I did Battle of the Books also freshman year to senior year, and I was captain of that for 1 or 2 of the years as well, and we just have different competitions and stuff like that. So I did that. And this shows that I had, let's see, how many in-school clubs was I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so like 5 clubs in school that I actually did from freshman to senior year. And obviously, if you don't like a club your freshman year, you don't have to stay in it. But the clubs that I chose in freshman year were ones that I knew I was interested in. So I just ended up doing those until senior year. Okay, now the one main thing that I did outside of school was Mayor's Youth Council. So you can check if your city has this, but my city, its Mayor's Youth Council is basically they choose 40 or 50 kids out of the whole district, and then you meet up every week, and then you work on a specific project. So I was on the public health committee, and then you can research about things that you're passionate about, and then at the end of the semester you have a symposium where you present that research to other students and also like the mayor and different people. So that was also something that was really big. So I did that for 4 years, and it directly related to my interest in medicine and specifically public health disparities and figuring out how we can reduce those. So that was also something that was good, I think. Yeah. Okay, now awards. I'm just going to go through like some of the awards I had on my resume just to give you guys an idea. And then after that, I'll go to more like work and stuff. Not actually work, but internships that I did in the summers and stuff to give you guys a full idea. Okay, I already told you guys about Debate Nationals, Octo finalist for that. And then also in 2023, out of 6 tournaments, I was first place varsity speaker for 4 of them. And then I also got first place team with my debate partner at 5 tournaments out of a total 6 of them. And then for technology, TSA, I also got first place in the state for biotech design with my partners. And then Science Olympiad, I also got first place in the state for Write It, Do It, but that was during COVID and everything. I was in all the standard honor societies, but honestly, I don't think these really do much. So, like National Honor Society, National Beta Club, I don't think they do much because it just shows that you got a certain GPA. Some random things that I did was I got the Princeton Book Award. I don't know what the criteria for that is. I think in our school, it's like teachers decide on that. And I don't know if it has a significant impact on actually getting in summer, but I got the Princeton Book Award and I did get in there. So like, but there's also people who got certain awards and they don't get in. So it just really depends on everything. And then another thing I did was in 2022, I was a part of a CBS documentary that was regarding critical race theory. So that got banned in Tennessee. So it was kind of students talking about how they feel about that getting banned and all of that stuff. And then also I worked with a group called related to educational equity because that's something I'm also interested in. So like public health equity, education equity, those are 2 things that I was really passionate about. So I did a webinar, and I think hundreds of people saw that from different places, and just like working on that, reading the research, and then basically it was centered around educational equity and how we can make schools feel more safe for kids. So that was that. Okay, now I'm going to get into volunteer experience. So this is all stuff that I did outside of school. Well, obviously. Okay. So there's a local like science museum. I volunteered there from freshman to senior year, and then I worked to keep kids engaged by designing different activities and also explaining scientific processes to them. So I related this in a way because I like sharing scientific knowledge, and it was cool, and I just like sharing knowledge and helping reduce disparities that there are. And also another big thing was that this was a nice way to let kids into STEM and encourage them towards it, especially now because people make out STEM to be such a scary thing. So that was something. Okay, and then I did internships all of my years, 8th grade and continuing. Just in the summer, we have a program, so I did internships and just random things. I was just having fun. Like, none of these are related to what I actually wanted to do, but it's just a fun experience. So I worked at the county clerk's office doing marriage licenses and everything 1 year. Another year I did social media marketing for one group. And another time I helped create activities and lesson plans for preschoolers. So that's 3 years. And the 4th year I helped make a digital arboretum, so like trees and figuring out like where trees are located and planting just to show like where they were located on campus. So these are all very random. And our city has a program for high school youth to get involved and get paid and do internships and stuff. So that's how I found out about these. So you're just going to have to research those specifically for your city and see what they are. Okay, yeah, that's low-key, that's it. Like, I tried to keep it short and quick, but if there's anything you guys have more questions about, you could let me know. And also, I guess I'll start off by saying I applied through QuestBridge, so I became a finalist through there. I didn't do the match, and then after that, I got in through regular decision. Well, I actually didn't match because my income or something was too high, like my EFC, so you have to check for that. And then after that, I got in through regular decision in QuestBridge. And I think check the website, and if you do qualify for QuestBridge, it's really nice because then you do have to write more essays and submit them earlier. But then at the end, if you're applying to more schools, there's also a bunch that if you're applying through QuestBridge, you don't have to write additional supplementals. And that was really good for me because I was applying to around 40 colleges, so I didn't want to be writing so many extra supplementals. So that was really lifesaver for me. And then also some schools that aren't on QuestBridge, just to list some, for example, like NYU, Cornell, stuff like that. Those aren't on QuestBridge, so you're just going to have to use Common App if you do apply to QuestBridge. But I think it's beneficial either way because it, in my opinion, it allows you to showcase yourself better because in the Common App, there's only one essay allowed, but through QuestBridge, you're writing more essays on different topics. So I feel like that shows who you are as a better person. So if you feel like your writing is stronger and it could show you better, then definitely try to do it through QuestBridge. Yeah. And then along with that, there is more stuff like specific essay advice and interview stuff, but that I feel like would not be included in a stats and extracurricular video. So if you guys want more information on that, I can let you guys know in a separate